Alright, V8 Swap Part 2. So last night I got it rolled up here and got the exhaust off. And I'm saving the one muffler because I'm going to reuse it because it only has a couple thousand kilometers on it. So, the cat, got that out, the Y-pipe. The Sawzall was my friend in that ordeal. The transmission pan off and drained out, and also the motor oil drained out. So I'm going to put the transmission pan back on. Put it back on so we can have it all sealed up when we pull it out. So now I'm going to go ahead and get the pan back on and try to take off the starter and transmission lines and speedometer cable and things like that that go to the transmission. So that's what we're going to do, and then take the rat off too. Lots more room for activities and cylinders. But just as close as it can be, pretty much. It'll be tight with putting the V8 in there. Yeah. It's going in.
There. Now we got to pull the vehicle ahead a little more.
The stupid 2.8 mounts, they have these little ears on them, and the motor mounts, they can't turn enough to get onto them. So I'm going to take the persuader, cut them off. Yeah, I got to stay away from those. Anyways, basically in. Just figuring out what holes we're going to go with, these ones or those ones. Won't know until we get the water pump on, because we measured where the fan needs to be in the shroud. Alright, so a new day. It's kind of in. I'll have to probably adjust it a bit to put the manifolds on. Got the starter on. Starter is allegedly touching the frame, but we're just going to ignore that for now. I'm going to end up using, I think I can get some 305 manifolds because they seem to work better, because on this side is just too close to pretty much everything, and it still might be close to the shift rod here, so I may have to persuade that with a persuasion hammer. But I'm persuading this with the Sawzall right now, the fan shroud, so I think I may have to lose this bolt here, possibly. But anyways, I got the fan drilled out to the old 4-bolt pattern, and it should fit if I'm able to figure out something with the lower rad hose over here. That'll be a little tricky, but we'll maybe sneak it down there somewhere. Anyways, it should work. Should. Cross your fingers. But yeah, so the ram horns do not work on this side because the car ones are too close and they hit the bracket. And I think the truck ones would probably hit the steering shaft. Now I don't have the right one of this for this, so I'm probably gonna have to make something for the kickdown cable to come off of here or something like that. But I got this one off the K5 back there, and that seems to work okay. So yeah, water pump is bolted on, just waiting for because I mount the alternator off the exhaust manifolds, and then we should almost be ready soon someday, at some point, I don't know. I'll catch you up with more when I do more later. Here we go, cutting the fan shroud. So here with the fan, I have a couple options. Well, it's hitting the top by a little bit, well, by about a finger's width. So I have a couple options. I could jack it up here, but then it doesn't hold on to this as much. And I have to re-drill these. Or I could cut a little hole in here and make a plate to rivet on or something so it stays covered. Or I could just let it self-clearance and do that. So we'll go with one of those three options. But it should fit. I mean, maybe a bit more trimming on this to clear that belt to the alternator, which is Bluetooth. But yeah. This hose is going to be simple to there, using the 2.8 rad, which should work. If you were good at difficult things, it wouldn't be too difficult. But that's the whole thing about this. But it kind of looks factory with the fan shroud, so that's what I'm going for. Anyways. Manifold just barely clears, and it's kind of rubbing the shift dealie when you go from park to reverse. But that'll be fine, I think. Anyways, just getting things buttoned up here. Should be going soon, hopefully. Alright, it's in for the last time. We had to take it out because the bolts right here, as you can see, they were loose, so we had to take it out, and it was leaking fluid, so that's how we knew that it was loose. So anyways, yeah, Tin, I found some belts. This belt is like doing a backflip or something. I don't know, I'll have to get a different one for there. The fuel pump's on. Need to get the line that goes to the carburetor. Have this air cleaner that's from my dad's truck from factory, from a 71. I got the 305 manifolds on both sides, log 305 manifolds. I have a starter that I got from a Cat-Eye 4.3 truck, like a new, 2000s. Anyways, they're a lot smaller, and it seems to crank it because the full size, like a regular 350 starter, it was hitting the frame right there. We're going to get exhaust done eventually. The distributor's on with the straight plugs. Motor mounts are tight. I put the oil filter on. And I had to do some clearancing for the dipstick there and for the shifter in the back, which still, we had to move the bracket for the 2.8 one. For the 2.8, I don't know, I guess the 4.3 one goes a little further that way, but it's hitting the manifold and the one bolt can't be in it. But we even bent it back a bit, and now it doesn't go into park, but we just need to adjust that. I got the this throttle cable bracket off of a van that I also got this carburetor off of, and I'm gonna have to go back to the U-pull yard whenever I can, because I'm pretty sure they're gonna close it because of this whole pandemic. But anyways, get the inspection cover. But I think it should be ready to go pretty soon. I'm gonna put the fan on. I just have it for testing off. But that's going to be it for this video. Next video we'll actually be starting it and running it, if we get that far, or we may not, I don't know. We just did the valves. We have this cruise control wire here set up to the starter. But yeah, here's my genius manufacturing skills down there as the alternator bracket, as well as the many spacers that I made on the lathe. So it should be mint. Next week or something, I don't know, whenever we get it going, then I'll sure to make a video and post it up, and if you enjoy, hit subscribe or don't. But that's the end of part 2. I think part 3 will be the final one, or there may be more, I don't know. But thanks for watching. See you later.